Now you're going to get more downloads, more listeners, more plays, more ratings and reviews. And what will end up happening is it'll trigger algorithms where your podcast playing platform sees that you're doing great. They put you in front of more and more people. And that means that your podcast grows.
Most hosts never achieve the results they hoped for. They're falling short on listenership and monetization, meaning their message isn't being heard and their show ends up costing them money. This podcast was created to help you grow your listenership and make money while you're at it. Get ready to take notes. Here's your host, Adam Adams.
Hey, podcaster. It is your host, Adam Adams. And on this episode, I really want to talk about getting on all of the different platforms. We titled this episode, Get on All the Platforms, You Dummy. Now, I think that was more of a hook, like, hey, wake up. And I want you to wake up. Why? Because I get so many people that come to me and they tell me that they're on all the platforms. And they tell me that the reason why they know that they're on all the platforms is because their hosting platform syndicates it everywhere. That's a lie. And I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to put this in to your head right now. You're not on all the platforms. You are not. Unless you work with a team like ours that really knows how to get you on every single platform, you're not there. You're not there just because Libsyn or Buzzsprout or you name the hosting platform. You're not there just because that company syndicates quote everywhere automatically. You got to do a little bit of research. I want to give you a couple of examples. When Facebook, this was a short stint, when Facebook decided, hey, I want to jump on the podcast bandwagon. I think Facebook might have been saying, I think that we need to keep people on our platform. They're going to all these other platforms. They're going to name the platform Apple, and we're losing out on attention. And so for us to get more attention, let's offer to be a hosting platform for podcasts as well. So they tried it out. Now, not very many people moved over. It didn't end up working out. They didn't put enough money behind marketing. They didn't spend enough time on it. They didn't do it right. They didn't really launch it very well. I don't think Meta's been doing everything perfectly lately. Who knows? We can save that for another thing. Anyway, Facebook ended up trying to do podcasts. And guess what? You probably never got your podcast on there. But guess what else? Our 60 clients at the time, all were on Facebook within 10 days. Within 10 days, we had 100% of our clients on Facebook. Then they went out, and that's fine. That's not proving the point or taking away from the point. The point is that you need to get on every platform that you can. Let's use another example. YouTube comes out and says, hey, we're going to be a hosting platform now too. Now, you could already have your podcast video on YouTube. You could already put even the audio as a video with a still image on YouTube. Those things already could happen. But that was never good. Being on YouTube was never that great. And why? Why wasn't it? And it's basically because, unfortunately, when somebody has a regular old YouTube channel, they're listening to your episode or they're watching your episode. Maybe they're subscribed. Who knows? Maybe they found you because somebody forwarded it to them. The point is that as they're watching your video, YouTube is going to basically say, you should watch these other videos. And here's the sad thing. They're watching your video, and let's just pretend that you have about 150 people that have watched it. That's a pretty typical number. So you're on YouTube and 150 people watched it. And what's going to happen is YouTube's going to say, well, you should watch this other one that 70,000 people looked at because we trust them because they have a lot of people that liked it. Or you should watch this other video with 1 million people. And so the little guy or the little girl, that person, let's just say you, who only has a certain number of downloads and it's not over 1 million per episode on YouTube. Well, what's going to be happening is YouTube is going to push people in front of the other ones that are doing better. That's the sad thing, but that's a reality about it. So when YouTube said, hey, I'm going to have a podcast playing platform like Apple and Spotify, for example, what ended up happening is my team, again, within 10 days, all of our clients are now on YouTube for the audio version with where people can subscribe for the podcast. So within 10 days, all of my clients, boom. And you might not have even known that Facebook ever did that. You might not have known that YouTube, as I'm recording, is currently doing that. And that's because well, I guess there's a lot of reasons. You're not doing all of your research and you're not finding out how to do all this. But working with our team, we are always trying to find out where all the platforms are. Regardless of how you get on the platforms, you work with our company, great. You find it on your own by like a Google search, wherever you search, then you're going to be able to connect it. And so at the end of this episode, here's what you need to know. You need to go and research. Unless you're already a client of ours and working with us, you're everywhere. You need to go and research all of the other places. I'm going to use the next couple of minutes to share another platform that all of our clients are on. It's called Gaana, Gaanna, I think is how it's spelled, Gaana. And it's a place where a few years back in India, they came up with a podcast playing platform, and it became one of the biggest playing platforms. And a few different countries, especially last year, from the day that I'm recording this, about a year and a half ago, Mandarin Chinese and Spanish became huge listener base. So China and, for example, Mexico had more listeners than they did the previous years before. And with Gaana, this allowed a lot of more people in Eastern India, for example, to become listeners of podcasts. It gave them a great platform that was for them. And then you might be saying, okay, Adam, what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say, this is you talking, I'm imitating you right now, not to be rude. You might say this, well, Adam, sounds like that would be good, but you keep telling me that the listeners are from India, and like my podcast is in Germany. My podcast is in America. My podcast is in Canada. My podcast is in Europe, whatever. My podcast is in the United Kingdom. So here you are saying, like, I don't really think you're onto something, Adam. If you're trying to tell me to be on one that's in a totally different country, like, I don't understand the point. Okay, I get you. I'm understanding with you. I'm with you right now. You don't get the point yet. Let me share it with you. Even if you have a podcast in, let's just say you're in Germany, you got a podcast in Germany, you only can serve people in Germany for your business. I don't know what your business is, but let's just pretend you live in Germany and your podcast is in Germany. And you can only serve people in your country. And so you're asking, so why would I need to be in this other country where there's a lot of listeners growing just like they did in China and Mexico recently? And here comes the answer. The answer is you want to trigger some algorithms so that you can get pushed in front of more people that can work with you. So regardless if you think you can serve them, if your business is also in that country, you will still want to allow your podcast to be on every platform. Get on all the platforms, you dummy. Get on all the platforms, you dummy. Okay. So you're going to want to be on Gaana, in the platform Gaana, even though most of the listeners are going to be in India, because now you're going to get more downloads, more listeners, more plays, more ratings and reviews. And what will end up happening is it'll trigger algorithms where your podcast playing platform sees that you're doing great. They put you in front of more and more people. And that means that your podcast grows. Your podcast will grow as well. And also, it's a small world after all. I mean, we've all been to Disneyland or Disney World and ridden that ride. It's a small world after all. They say it like a million times and it's still not in your head. It is a freaking small world, which means that in India or the Philippines or Mexico or Germany or the US or Canada or Australia, name more countries, that's fine. I'm going to stop there. In this country, many people know people in other countries. Many people can refer people. So on top of you just getting more downloads and stuff, on top of you triggering algorithms so that your person can find you easier, you will also have that third benefit where somebody listening, let's use Gaana and India for a second. And I hate to sound racist or however this might sound, but I'm just going to finish the sentence anyway, because I have a shit ton of friends who are Indian and engineers or IT. So I'm just going to use the friends that I have as the example. So I've got a friend who lives in Texas. They are Indian and they migrated directly from India. And so they even still have that stronger accent as well, right? So they haven't been here their whole life. They are a first-born immigrant. They moved here. And well, guess what? When Gaana starts growing and your podcast starts growing in Gaana, what are the chances that that person who's listening on Gaana in India has a close friend or family member in Silicon Valley, a close friend or family in San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, has a strong family member in, name the city. I have so many close friends that are Indian, that are engineers or technology or whatever, and they migrated, or their parents or the grandparents migrated, and they need to know my podcast. So there's still more chance, using that third example, of referrals. to be able to get in front of my right person. So let's just say that you've got a real estate podcast, you syndicate deals, which means that you raise capital so you can buy bigger real estate, and you get up on Gaana. Awesome. Engineers and IT make a lot of money. They both do. And so all of a sudden you got that person listening, and they might just tell their friend who lives in, name the city in the US, for example, or in Australia. Maybe you're in Australia. I know that there's a lot of good technology there as well. Technology is a big thing right now. And so not to be prejudiced or saying that everybody of a certain race is a certain job title. I know that's not true. It's just that I have a shit ton of friends that are Indian. They're either engineers or IT, just like most of the time. Sometimes they're lawyers, sometimes they're other things as well. But so many of them are those two things. And just depending like where you are, what you're looking at, what you're looking for, there's no reason not to be on every single platform. So I feel like this is like a racist episode. I hope nobody thinks that I'm being negative toward anybody in any way, because my heart's not there. Anyway, going back to what I'm saying is, at the end of this episode, what do we want you to take away? It's work with a company like ours, where we can make sure that you're always on every platform that's possible so that you can get the best end result, regardless if that listener is the best listener immediately. There's 3 reasons why to do it. And if you don't work with us, for example, just do a really good research on a search engine where you're trying to find what are all the places possible. It's a small world after all. I'll see you on the next episode. You're not alone if you're ready to either get your very first affordable microphone, or if you're ready to upgrade your equipment to some legit podcasting studio equipment. Because on all of the forums over the last few months, I'm seeing this all the time. Even my own personal clients that work with my team, they're ready to get that next microphone. They're asking us for it. Additionally, when I'm on discovery calls with potential clients, they're always asking for this stuff. Hey, what mic do you recommend? Hey, what lighting do you recommend? What webcam should I be using? So many questions. And so what we did, my whole team has put together a PDF so that if you're one of those people who is looking to either get your very first affordable microphone, or if you're ready to upgrade your equipment to more professional podcast studio equipment, whether it's soundproofing or whatever, we've got you covered by going to growyourshow.com/PDF. And you can download the PDF for free, or right there on the webpage is everything that you would have, and you don't need to download the PDF. Either way, just go to growyourshow.com/PDF, which will put you to the podcasting equipment that me and my team have personally vetted. I'll see you on the next episode.